everyone, it is me, Chris T, and today we're going to be doing another art video. Yay! I haven't drawn too much recently, but I'm actually off today because in the northeast region in which I live, the weather is calling for a lot of snow. So I'm actually off of work, which is perfect because I'm gonna try and make like 4 videos between today and tomorrow. No promises, but also I'm trying to promise myself that. So today I thought we would start with my sketchbook and get something that I've been thinking of made. But before we do that, I wanted to show you guys my sketchbook. So this is the Illo Sketchbook and it's still pretty new. I haven't drawn a lot, like I said, so I don't have a lot drawn in it. But I think I said when I was opening up the sketchbook that typically for the covers of my sketchbook, I like to cover them in stickers. And I wasn't sure with the material if the stickers would be a good fit, but I decided to throw caution to the wind and slap those on there anyways. But I wanted to show you guys because I'm kind of happy with the collage we have going so far. It looks kind of nice and they kind of tie in together in a weird way. This is by Lee, spelled L-E-I-G-H, Elixson. Ellexson. So I'm a patron of hers, so every month she sends like a postcard with a few stickers, which I got the sticker tier because I really love stickers. So this is hers, these are hers, and these owls are hers. Obviously this is from Art Snacks. Then I have these stickers. So these ones that I'm pointing to here are stickers I actually made. I have a video up of when I made stickers for charity, and this is from, I have a bunch of sticker packs still that I didn't give away. So I decided to adorn my sketchbook with some stickers of my own, which I really like. And then these two cool ones up here that are like the same style. I have no idea who the artist is. I got these stickers from my brother. He sent them to me for my birthday. He really likes like outdoorsy nature type stuff. He collects patches, so he actually sent me a few patches as well, but then he sent me some stickers, and I love these. I love the art style of them. I love the colors. I love how it's painted. It's really, really nice. So I thought those two were super beautiful and vibrant, so I put those on the front, and I wish I had a few more that I could put on the front as well. But then we have the back of my sketchbook where I have a lot more collaging of stickers. I definitely take more care for the front, and in the back I usually just put whatever other stickers that I can on it. So here's that barn owl from Lee, and then yeah, I do have a Scrawler box sticker back here. Real Friends. This I got from a sticker pack that my sister had bought. I think she probably bought on Amazon or something. Came with a bunch of stickers of like different styles. So I have this Real Friends one, and this Star Wars one came from there too. Really like Darth Vader. I'm such a fan of villains. I can talk about that later time, but I like villains, so I have him on there. I voted this year and I made sure they gave me a sticker because my mom didn't get her sticker, so I had to put that on there. These are other ones from my own creation. And then this was one from the sticker pack that my brother, or the stickers that my brother sent me, and I had to cut it out, but I just liked this original Game Boy style that said Game Over. This was another one that I really wanted to put on there because it looks super cool. It's nice. It's kind of like holographic a little bit. And then I got this one from that bottle company. Oh, Hydro Flask. I really had to Google that. I forgot what that was. So that's from Hydro Flask. This is from Brandy Melville. This one is also from Brandy Melville. They sent me stickers. I put them on my sketchbook. That's just what I do with stickers sent to me. And this was another one that my brother gave to me. I like the outdoorsy type of sticker, so I put that on there as well. I also wanted to let you guys know that I have a new desk cover, if you couldn't tell. It's like green now, which I think is absolutely wonderful. Anyway, should we get into some art? I think we should. This is the page that we're working on. I already jotted down my idea that I want to paint today. Please ignore this. This was a fail of a painting video. I never did that video because I didn't like the idea enough. I'm not good at profile view of faces. Anyways, we're gonna talk about this. This is a new character that I made. Her name is Nemi, and I have a story for this. I promise. You know what? We're going to actually get into the art and I'll talk about this because this is going to be a tangent that's going to take me quite a few minutes and I might as well do something valuable with my time. This is the painting that I want to do. I pretty much want to do this exact pose. I don't know if I'm going to do it full body or cut it off at like the knees, but I want to do this character holding this big fish. I thumbnailed it here quickly before I did this one just to get a quick idea of what I wanted it to look like. And this was just kind of head on. And in this one, I kind of was going to do it head on and decided to stylize it, make it a little bit more turn, seem a little bit more heavy. I still don't know what I want to do. Before we get into the final piece, I did want to draw her face bigger and get an idea for her face. So I gave her a name so that she's officially a part of my OC crew. She's going to be the third character that I've created in my OC crew. I have no story lined up for them, but I have some characters. I feel like I haven't really shown you guys me drawing a sketch in a while. Like, it's all kind of been final pieces for the most part. So I thought I could take this time to enjoy the sketchbook as we're enjoying this day off and enjoying solitude as I am home alone. So as I'm going into drawing this character and getting a head shape down, I wanted to tell you the story about this character because it's quite funny, and I also don't think any of you guys are going to believe me when I say what I have to say, but it's true. Like, I would not make this up, but it doesn't sound true, and I understand if you don't believe me. Let me just explain. So I finally started watching the anime Hunter x Hunter. It was on my list for a long time, and I finally got around to it. I had some time. I decided to start it up since I was done with whatever I was watching beforehand. And if you don't watch anime, I don't know what you're doing on my page, to be honest with you. Now, I appreciate you, but I feel like a good amount of my viewers probably do watch anime. I literally just assume that. I think I've seen a few of your profile pictures, and you've had like your profile pic was an anime character. So I assume that means we're all on the same page. We all equally enjoy anime. We're all, you know, buddies with that. So I also would assume then that most of you have probably seen or at least heard of Hunter x Hunter. I think her eyes are too far away. No, I'll keep it like that. So I started watching it, and yeah, I fell in love. It's as good as everyone says it is. It is beautiful. It's a great show. I actually just recently finished it, but before I finished it and I was watching it for a long time, something that I really appreciated about it, and something that I can appreciate about anime in general, like I've seen this happen in like My Hero Academia. Her eyes are too far apart. Ugh, she looks like she looks like one of the Chimera ants. References that you'll only get if you know what you know. But I'm gonna push her eyes a bit closer together. But I kind of want them to be a bit bigger and a little bit angled. That's way too close to the center of her face. Anyways, what I really appreciated about this show, and what is something I appreciate about a lot of anime, is their characterizations. Like I shouldn't say that. Their character styles. Like the way the artist has drawn a lot of these characters and a lot of these shows, they're so distinctive, they're so interesting. And for shows like that have like a huge plethora of like characters, a huge plethora of like important characters, side characters, people who are just coming onto the team later in the day and are equally as important to the story, to the plot, and they just all look so cool. Like they all just so interesting. And I feel like that's a hard thing as an artist, because I know as a writer, that's difficult for me, is writing a bunch of characters. Like I forget characters. Even when I'm watching shows, I forget character names. I forget character personalities. And when you're trying to write a story, like a really great story, you need to have a lot of distinct characters that are all equally detailed out, if you know what I mean. Like, if you take the time to really plan out your characters and their personalities and their backstory, even if we never hear of their backstory, but if you just plan out their backstory just for your sake, you're going to have very complex characters that people are going to love. And even characters that are supposed to be villains, even characters that you're supposed to hate, if you have it that they have motivation behind their actions, if they have just like cool character points, just very intense. Obviously, when you're writing a story, it's much more fun to kind of draw on one piece of their personality and kind of let the character build off of that. So if you have a quirky character, obviously in real life, you'll meet some people who are quirky, but there's more nuance. But when you kind of build this character that's based off of quirkiness and you're able to nuance it with everything else, you know what? I could talk about story building all day long, but it's really cool when you can have a character that looks very distinctive, that their look matters, that their personality matters, and that you get this full taste of who this character is from the first impression, from the first look-see that you kind of see this character and you say, oh wow, he kind of looks like this. And all of that wrapped up is them. That's great. And I think that's the cool thing about anime, because you'll see that with a lot of main characters, of course. And I've seen this trope, people make fun of it all the time, like how you can tell the main character in an anime and they'll show like a whole audience of regular brown-haired character, and then you have the one red fiery hair just like somewhere in the midst. Oh, that's the main character because he has the crazy hairdo while everyone else looks boring. But if you can make an anime where you have all of the lesser characters still seem kind of important, honestly, I think you're doing a really great job. Personally, that's just my hot take there. I was really fond of how all these characters looked, and I was thinking, you know, it's so hard to draw characters, and once you kind of have a style that you kind of say is yours, I see it happen a lot of times with artists, not necessarily on YouTube, but maybe on Instagram, where a lot of their characters look the same. And sometimes the only thing that changes between one character and another character is their hairstyle. But like the face is the same, the eye shape is the same, the way they make their noses is the same, the mouths are the same. And if it wasn't for the fact that there's a different hairstyle, you wouldn't really see a difference in the character. Like their build is usually the same. They're all typically thin, model-like. And it just comes down to like hairdo differences. And even though I don't say that I'm great at this as an artist myself, something that I've always really appreciated or admired or strived to be is an artist who pays attention to the details. Because honestly, it's the details that I'm so fond of. And I'm not saying that I'm like great at it. I know I struggle at being detailed, and I know that comes with more practice, more time. But if I could be the kind of artist where in each piece, all of the details are fully fleshed out, I think that'll be kind of the marker for I'm really happy with where I'm at, you know? And so watching Hunter x Hunter, I was really impressed by how great they made their characters, how distinctive from one another. You know, you look at the face of any of their characters and the face shape is different, the eyes are different, the nose is different. Like every single thing about these characters are different. The heights, the weight, the build, and the personalities were just like, I think I was really impressed with that. I think more than anything else, you know, with the stories, like they did a good job at making me like their villains, which to me is the single factor that makes me really enjoy content, I guess, especially content that has an outwards villain or an external villain. So for example, to get off of the topic of why I wanted to talk about Hunter x Hunter in the first place, but because we're, you know, just taking our time here and just drawing for a little bit, let's take the Avengers, because I feel like even if you haven't really seen the movies, you should definitely kind of know. And I'm going to assume most of you have seen the movie, so you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. The second Avengers movie, Age of Ultron, had to be one of the worst in the entire franchise. And one of the reasons why it was one of the worst in the entire franchise is because their villain sucked. Say what you want about it, but the villain just sucked. Ultron was a cool character. The idea of Ultron is cool. I've never really read the comic books, so I imagine he's even cooler in the comics. The idea was cool. I like what they were doing with the whole Jarvis thing and everything that they were blending into this character. I really enjoyed. But it fell flat because when you really watched it, what was the motivation? I want to destroy the world because the world is filled with people who aren't the best and I want to be all powerful. Like, what? So the villain wasn't really fleshed out. And because he wasn't fleshed out, the story fell flat. And say anyone who watched it, I mean, there's a few people who probably really did enjoy it, and I'm sorry that I'm bashing it. But we could tell with the Avengers, this isn't the final fight. This isn't the movie that we're waiting for. This is just build up. We're just seeing more of the characters. This is something to kind of give us more insight to the protagonists, to give them some issues internally. And I think that was like the big thing with Age of Ultron. You know, like Tony Stark had to deal with a lot of his you know, like PTSD, and all of these characters kind of trying to work together with all their different fighting styles, all their different personalities, yada, yada, yada. Let's throw a villain in there because this is an action movie. This is a superhero movie, right? And that's pretty much what that movie was, because then once Age of Ultron was kind of like building up and he seemed like a real threat and he did some damage, poor property damage, he was destroyed. It was like, all right, you're done. You weren't that great to begin with, and now you're done. And to me, that's kind of what I felt like with that movie. I don't really know what I'm going to do with her mouth yet. I kind of like her eyes so far. I do this a lot with eyes where I don't draw on the pupils because I feel like I mess it up at that point. So I'm just kind of looking at this one and just going to get the hair in there because I feel like that'll flesh it out more and it'll get me more excited to do the rest of this, just to bring us back to something. So I didn't really like that movie because I didn't care for the villain that much. And it was a shame because I really like the voice actor. I forget his name, but the person who was the voice actor for Ultron, he was in the Blacklist. I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me. This has been a few years now and I haven't done any research before doing this video, but I'm pretty sure that was the voice actor of Ultron, and I really like his character, or I really like that actor. So Age of Ultron sucked because the villain kind of sucked. The reason why I really like Thanos, and the reason why I thought Thanos was a pretty good villain, obviously he was the culmination. He was where we were getting to. We saw him from the credit scene of like the first movie, and he played a role in multiple movies leading up to the end. Even though I still think Thanos could have been a little bit better written, Thanos was a much better villain because you could tell that he had actual viable backstory. He had an actual purpose. He had a reason for why he was trying to destroy the things he was trying to destroy. Obviously, we disagree with him because he's the villain and that's a bad thing to do. You can't argue the fact that he had some motivation. He had something that for him, even though for us it's not that strong of an argument, it justified it for him. He had a certain justification. It wasn't just killing for killing's sake. He wanted to do some good. His sense of good. I like that about Thanos. I like that he had a reason, pretty much. I like that he had a reason that you could argue. I mean, it wasn't like I'm siding with him, but he had something that he could argue towards. He could say, this is why I feel the way I feel. And from all of my experiences, I think this is the best thing that we could do. And it was like, okay, yeah, bro, that's twisted, but you have your reasons, you know? Anyways, and that's what I'm talking about. Like when I say I like a show by their villains, it's not necessarily that like I side with the villain, but to me, if you're gonna show me a fight scene, make it difficult, make it emotional, make it long lasting, make it something that I have to think about later. Because if I can just easily be like, oh yeah, that villain sucked, then I don't really care. So back to Hunter x Hunter, because I don't know why I went on that spiel about villains. But I guess I just wanted to talk about the show. I don't have any friends who like anime, and it's really been getting to me because I've been wanting to talk about Hunter x Hunter. So all of you guys are gonna have to struggle and deal with it because I'm gonna talk to you guys about it. With Hunter x Hunter, man, they did villains quite well. My favorite character is Hisoka. I'm just going to leave a moment of pause because if you know the show, maybe you're just like, well, yay, he's an attractive clown. But also if you're like, okay, I like him because he's kind of crazy. I don't know why you're saying he's your favorite. But man, I love that character. And there's so much to talk about and there's so little time. Okay. I really like Hisoka. I really like his motivation. I really like that he's just into the violence. That's just him. I love it. I don't know. I really like his character. And I was finished watching. I read up because I was kind of sad that like I already finished the series and obviously there's room for so much more. And I heard that the creator, like, I guess he's been writing this story for like a long time, but I guess he has very major health concerns. And so it's been written really slowly. So the prospects of getting another season for the anime is like, we doubt it, I guess. I guess was the consensus. And I do kind of want to read the manga now and kind of see where that's left off. But man, I want more content. I would just love to see more of that show altogether. So I would be really sad, but his health comes first and stuff like that. So, but I digress. I really want to see more of Hisoka. I really want him to become a good guy. that's just my honest thoughts and opinions about him. Like, I really, really am rooting that he'll become a good, as much as I like him as a bad guy, I like him too much now, and I just am rooting for him to be a good guy. But also, for those who watched it, and I'm not going to do any spoilers in this, because if you haven't watched it, please do so. For the Chimera Ant arc, I love the king. Like, I was blown away. I love that character so much. And wow, I just like, the show's good. So that's pretty much what I wanted to say. But as I was watching the show, before I got to the Chimera Ant arc, back when I was still probably at the time that I was already at like Greed Island, I drew this character in my sketchbook. And as I was drawing this little thumbnail, I was thinking, okay, what kind of hair do I want to give this character? Should it just be straight hair? I said I did curly hair a lot of the time, so maybe not curly, maybe something wavy. But then I just started having fun with it, and I was like, oh, what if I did something like tiered, like a tiered hairstyle? And then I drew it, and I was like, oh, that looks interesting. But then I had to draw her bigger and see if it actually looks cool or if it looks just ridiculous. And I drew it here, and I was like, oh, wow, this looks super awesome. I love that. So I was so excited to film this video and be like, guys, I watched Hunter x Hunter, and I made this character, and look at this cool hair that I did. And this is where, if you've seen Hunter x Hunter, you probably know where I'm going. At the end, we're introduced to a new character. Or near the end of the anime, I should say, not the end of all be all. We're introduced to a new character. Again, I'm not going to go through any spoilers, so I'm not going to say who it was, yada, yada. And they have tiered hair. I was like, this is impossible. I was like, there's no way that I thought to do this tiered hair and it's already been done before. I was so mad. You don't know how much I laughed about it, because I was like, this is ironic to a certain degree that doesn't even make sense. But then I was like, no, how am I ever going to tell everyone that I had this idea for this tiered hair? And they're going to be like, what do you mean you had this idea? You're saying you watched Hunter x Hunter. Obviously, you know where you got this tiered hair idea from. But I guess it's true when they say there's nothing new under the sun. Like, even as artists, have I ever had an original idea in my life? Apparently not, because the one thing that I was super excited about, it's been done before. It's been there, done that. I'm not unique or interesting. I'm just one of the rest of everyone else. So I was so sad. You really don't know. I was so sad. So I want you guys to really honestly take my word for it that I thought of this hair idea before I saw it played out. But if you fail to believe me, I understand, because honestly, I don't blame you. It would be hard for me to believe you as well if you were like, hey, I had this idea. And whew, ironically enough, the show that I had the idea from in the first place actually did the thing that I thought was unique. And I mean, I'm not going to change her hair just because of that. I really still like this. This is fun to draw. I mean, look how cool it looks already. Like, it gives her so much personality, and I love that. So yeah, so I say all that to say, I don't want to be confined to my art style, because I know for me especially, sometimes I'll doodle like, how do I want my eyes to typically look? How do I want my hair to typically look? How do I want my noses? Like, I love this nose. I love the two little triangle peaks and a circle on top. It's such an easy nose, and it's a nose, but I don't want to be confined to that, because I think when we get so hung up on art style, and what I feel like Hunter x Hunter kind of showed me, it's like, okay, remember, you don't need to be confined to your art style, because no matter what you draw, it's always going to be you drawing it. It's always going to be unique to you. It's always going to be stylized in some way. There's just going to be some nuanced things that maybe you don't even notice, but someone who knows you and can see your art will look at and say, oh yeah, you usually do things like this. Like, I can definitely tell when you've drawn something than someone else. That means you have an art style. I want to have characters that all look different, but it's still like all my characters, if that makes sense. And obviously, like, that'll be the case, because unless I start drawing everything chibi style, or if I ever start drawing things like Adventure Time style, if it's anime, they're all gonna look like anime characters, and they're probably all gonna tie together. So yeah, I guess that's just kind of what, like, it reminded me of. Okay, also, I'm trying to think. I really like how this looks right now, like these bangs that kind of end short. But I'm thinking I should put some hair in the front of her face, right? Because I kind of ended this kind of high, her bangs kind of high. I had them like closer to her face here, like closer to her ears, but I have this gap here. So it's like, I kind of like the idea of leaving it like this, because then if you turn her to the side, maybe the sides of her hair, like right in the front, are shaved. And then she has all this like this mullet situation happening in the back. But then it's like I could also just add some pieces of like this tiered layer hair here, and then close off the face. I don't know what would be better for this character. I really don't. I'm going to draw it because I see how it looks now. And if I don't like it, I'll just know for next time. Just a pieces of hair right in the front here. And it kind of is like connected to this back layer right here. We're going to leave those in for now. Right? Like some pieces of hair that comes into the front here. I kind of like it both ways. I don't know which way I prefer, to be honest. But I think I need to have some more flyaways or something. I have no idea for the shape of your body, girl. I have you covered here, and I didn't do any, I wasn't going to draw your body. I didn't draw any guidelines. So now I'm just like doing this, and I feel like I'm not doing this well. So I need to stop drawing her body right now, because that's not the thing we're focused on. This underlayer is supposed to be kind of like mesh. And it's supposed to be like sleeves that go underneath her bodysuit, whatever. I don't know about this outfit, to be honest. Like, I like some elements. I like how these pants flare out. I like how crazy her boots look. This top part, I'm not sure about. I wanted to go with the angles because I went with some sharp angles here. So I didn't want it to be too soft. I wanted it to be like angular with some of the shapes of things. But I definitely feel like I need to delve more time into like her actual outfit. I mean, this might be it, but I think I could, there's definitely place for improvement with this outfit, pretty much. And yeah, that's her tiered hair. I'll stop it there. My thoughts have always been like that, where I don't even know if what I'm saying makes sense half the time. Like, I have thoughts on things and they make sense somewhere in my brain, but it's so hard for me to describe them in words. But I promise there's words somewhere, and but I can't promise that it makes sense either way. Also, I just want to say, Gon's dad, I hate that guy. I think he is the worst. He is a terrible father. And I know they did that on purpose, but my goodness, that dude, I don't like his dad. And then at the end of the series, he had one of the nicest lines of the entire series. He has such a nice line that I had to write it down because I loved it. And this was just, you know, the subtitles. I don't know how it was in Japanese. I bet it was a lot more beautiful. But he said, "You should enjoy the little detours to the fullest, because that's where you'll find the things more important than what you want." And I was like, Jing, you are the wisest sage to ever sage, because that is the beautifulest, beautiful thing. And it was great to hear, because it's like, I don't know, I like to take those things to heart and like think about it for a little bit and be like, yeah, you know what? I definitely need to be more like that, because it's true. No matter what your goals in life, if it's, you know, right now to finish college or finish high school or to get a job or to get married and have a nice house, whatever your goals are, if we stop focusing so much on the destination, oh my goodness, isn't that also, that's also an Avatar: The Last Airbender, those hippies. It's like, you need to focus less on where you're going and more on the going. Something like that. But it's true. And I like that sentiment, that wherever you're going in life, whatever your goals may be, enjoy the moments that get you there. Because sometimes more important than getting there, it was the journey. It really is. Because when I think of college, you know, obviously I went to college in hopes to get a degree. And yeah, that happened. But to me, the most memorable things that happened in college weren't taking the classes, weren't doing the test, although some of those were very memorable. It was the time that I hung out with people, the people that I met, skipping class sometimes to eat food at Red Robin's, which I don't recommend you do, but at the same time, sometimes you can sacrifice one class to have a great experience with a bunch of friends. It was just amazing. So I really like that quote, and that's why I wrote it down. So yeah, I don't like Jing. I think he's a horrible father and he makes me so mad. But he also had the best line in the series. So you know what? I guess I can't hate him too much, right? But I wanted to say that too, just in case you watch the show. I wonder how people feel about like the characters, because again, I don't have anyone to talk to about this. So I don't really know a lot of people's thoughts on the characters. I don't know if I'm weird for liking Hisoka, or if a bunch of people also agree that he's like a beautifully perfect character and amazing in a lot of ways. But yeah, that's my thoughts. Oh my goodness, how long have I been talking? Okay, we've been doing this for an hour. I think I might call this one video, you know, like come sketch with me, like come chat with me. And then I think I'll make another one where I'm actually painting her, just because I spent a lot of time talking. And this video is going to be long and I'm going to have to edit the life out of this video. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed kind of coming along this journey with me to sketch out this character. Mostly spent rambling about Hunter x Hunter and then rambling about everything else. I need to work on that. Please have a great day, have a great week, have a great life, and remember, enjoy the little detours along the way. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.